It's Speaking with Gravity. I'm Kervin.
I'm D.
I'm Chris.
I'm Joshua.
And we are your host today. On this podcast, we talk about mental health and how everything affects everything. With every episode, the goal is to have a conversation that's going to make you think, make you feel, make you do what is best for you. This isn't therapy. It's a podcast.
Amen.
While we serve as mental health professionals, the information and the content being discussed during our podcast is not intended to be utilized or substituted as therapy. I don't think I ever say that word right, but anyway, y'all get what I'm trying to say. The purpose of this broadcasting is to share our personal perspectives through open dialogue about various content based on our personal, educational, and professional experiences. And today, we got a guest. Taisha is not with us. Word on the street is she went back to her old school and chilled and couldn't make it to this episode recording. So that's the word on the street. So we had to call in a favor from one of my friends from undergrad who flew in from the NYC to come be with us. Chris, tell us who you are, what you do. Don't tell them how we met, but just tell them who you are, what you do.
Right, I'm Chris Gandsy, originally from Columbia, South Carolina. Currently living between Brooklyn, New York, and Greenville, South Carolina. I own a brewery in Brooklyn. It's called Daleview Biscuits and Beer. Besides making beer, we also make buttermilk biscuits. They happen to be gluten-free, and the beer is gluten-full. But yeah, I'm a business owner. A small business owner with big business dreams.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Man. This is real big for me. This is special to me. It's one of those, you see those entertainers and they like, yeah, we grew up together and we here, and not to say that we big or anything like that, but I did meet Chris it was orientation, not even like the first year. Orientation. He was one of the first. It was like 3 other black guys there.
Hey, it could have been 4.
It could have been 4. But we met each other, and we've been tight ever since then, man. Of course, we grow up and we get married and stuff like that. And there are time periods when we don't talk, but then you wouldn't know it when we engage with each other. But this is real big for me, man. Just to remember. Those conversations, having those conversations in the dorm room, no money, eating noodles, stand up talking about what we gonna be and how we gonna be growing up. But neither one of us thought that we would be here.
No,
because he was a music major.
Yep.
Chris was a music major. He's a beer maker.
I thought I was gonna be playing somebody's orchestra.
Yeah.
And look, life turns, life changes.
So today. Twitter discussion. We're talking about motivation. So, Coach Morton at Jackson State University says motivation gets you going, discipline keeps you growing. I thought that was big when I came across that. I don't really, based on what the idea that D presented, that hit spot on. Motivation gets you going, discipline keeps you growing. So QD of the hour, Josh, you take that one because you were supposed to do a Twitter discussion.
QD of the hour, quotable data, another version of fun facts, info for you to be able to give your friends, family, colleagues, co-workers, and church members. QD of the hour, only 15% of employees worldwide feel motivated, according to a Gallup study. Only 15% of employees worldwide feel motivated.
So, Chris, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. It's February of 2023. I don't know what kind of employees you got, but do you feel like, as a small business owner, having various employees throughout the years, can you see that study?
Yeah, as of right now, I have 8 employees. That 15% is a lot. And really, with having a staff that small, I can say half of my staff are not motivated at times unless they're getting exactly what they want. And also, sometimes, I have to find the right way to reach them. It's not all on them.
Right,
It's on the leadership, which is me, as well as how do I motivate them. It's real, and also too, I've learned over these years of working in retail and on my own business, especially on my own business. These employees that are not motivated, they're a reflection of me at that time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm motivated, I'm driven, right? I have a certain discipline, but there could be something else in my life that I'm not motivated, and it carries over to the business, and those employees are reflections of things that's going on in my reality, because they're extensions of me in that business, in that workplace.
So as a leader, you got to make sure you're in tune to what you're giving off in that moment, in that time.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't even know you're giving it off. You have to. It's that self-awareness, and it's kind of like when it comes to that level, it can be hard being fully self-aware about what you're really giving off. Like you might be coming in smiling, you might be appearing to be engaged, but whatever issues that I might be having, microcosm of that stuff has been pushed off into that team.
Okay. All right, D, give us the intro.
Motivation is not discipline. Motivation is the identification that change is possible. Discipline is the acceptance that to achieve change, you must do something different consistently.
Wow.
Okay.
It's real.
I want to say something about your reading, don't you?
What about it?
This last 2 episodes, you done flipped up on these
words.
These words that like it's not even like you don't know. You know what discipline is. Motivation, that's big. That's real big. Are we motivated every day? And Chris, you alluded to it already. Like, nah.
Sometimes I have to find a way to get motivated. I have to create space for motivation sometimes. Because I'm not motivated every day. I got to be honest. When I get out to bed, I'm not motivated every day. Sometimes I have to do something different. I feel like it takes that sometimes. Taking that walk sometimes that you don't usually take, or going and eating alone one day, so you can really get into your thoughts sometimes. Or eating with somebody when you normally eat alone. So doing something different sometimes, creating some space can be healthy for motivating yourself.
I find, again, you said it previously too, talking to yourself. Mm-hmm. Really telling yourself, all right, man, you got to get this together. You need to try your best. Today, I need to be on point today for whatever reason.
There you go.
And a lot of times for me, what helps me right now is to look back at the younger generation. Like, I don't want to be in 10 years or 20 years. I want to be a leader. I want to be someone that somebody can look up to. And so you got to put that grind in today. You can't wait till 20 years from now. So, in these paths that we chose to take, you got to do it today. You got to, these little small steps that you're doing today matters for next week.
It's about now. That's right.
That's true. Like sometimes you got to get up and just get out and do it.
Get out and do it, yeah.
So every day trying to be your best. So what would y'all say is the source of motivation? D, kind of help me out with this one. Sources of motivation. And one of my things why you thinking about it is the energy that you surround yourself with.
Ooh.
The energy you surround yourself with is the energy you will become, is what I heard. And energy is the new word now, but, for me, that energy comes in the form of entertainment. It comes in the form of friends that we connect with.
Music.
Music, yep.
Excitement in general.
Yeah. So that energy is really big. Energy you surround yourself with is the energy you become, and that's one of those sources of motivation for me. What about you, D?
I think a primary source of motivation for me, of course, is personal aspirations, things that I want to achieve that I have not been able to do thus far. Also knowing where I come from, the things in which I have had to overcome in my adolescence and in my young adulthood that I do not want to have for my son, my future children, my nieces and nephews, or even the people that are just connected with me in general. That is the primary source of motivation for me. And then ultimately, I think the desire to really tap into being something that I truly believe in, and that's becoming the best version of myself for myself. That's a source of motivation. And so, yeah, that's what I have to offer.
Okay. Let's just go down the line. Josh, what you? I'm gonna give Chris a chance to think. And you do this all the time, so you're supposed to be spot on.
For sure.
Yeah. What's your source of motivation?
Like I said earlier, doing different things. So my source of motivation, I guess, like D said, my goals, where I want to get to. I know I have to be intentional to get there. So a lot of times those are motivating me. Now, I'll say one thing, when I lose that motivation, because I have lost that motivation before, that's when doing something different comes into play, like taking a walk or something like that. And on that walk, when I'm kind of free in my mind, my motivation will come back to me a lot of times. Because I have so much going, throughout my day and throughout my life. It's like I'm being hit with all these things. I'm not as connected as I want to be to maybe what got me motivated in the first place. So during that walk, during that time, could be in prayer, meditation, or something like that, when I am clearing my mind, okay, then the things that are really important to me, they come back to me, purpose comes back to me, and then I'm able to chase that. So with me, it's almost like just creating space for it. And I truly feel like, when you get out, I feel as though motivation is not going to always find you right there in your room doing the same thing that you did yesterday, So take accountability for your motivation and, move.
Chris, if I can just switch yours up just a little bit, right? What motivated you to be to do what you're doing?
I want to hear
which,
this too. Yeah.
Was it 1%, 2% of people?
Okay, you want statistics right now?
Yeah.
So statistically, in the United States of America, less than 1% of all breweries and brewery brands are owned by people of color, black people.
Wow.
Less than
Black
how
people.
many?
Less than 1%. So it's about 86, or that number might be wrong. So fact check me. I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. So about 86 black-owned brands and brands that exist. Out of those black-owned brands, less than 40 are actually brick and mortar, and less than 15 of those brick and mortar actually produce enough beer to distribute regionally. So we're still a speck on the map of brewing. When I started doing this, and really, I had no intention. It wasn't my. I didn't believe it was my life path to be on a brewery, on a restaurant. When somebody, I cooked around the house. I made beer around the house for friends and family in the city. Bring people over, eat. People always like, y'all should open a restaurant. Y'all should do this. I was like, you know what? Y'all gotta be crazy. Because people who own restaurants and breweries, they tend to be broke.
We ain't trying to be that.
And at the time, I was motivated at my job in retail. I was happy to go lucky retail manager. Trying to move up the ladder. And then something happened. I kept doing it. I started doing a pop-up. I did a pop-up in my house. People came to my house that was coming for free food, came and paid lots of money for a biscuit sandwich and a cup of beer. I was like, okay. I did that a couple times, and I went to there's another brewery in my neighborhood that's owned by a black woman. She's like, yo, we're doing a thing called Foodie Friday. I said, cool. I did that, and then a good friend of mine came and he's like, yo, let me see your business plan. I'm like, Okay, sure. So it happened I had wrote a business plan like right when we first moved into Flatbush in Brooklyn, right?
So at that time, were you thinking about it becoming a business?
I was riding the wave.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a challenge to you to
Yeah,
get
like,
serious about it.
it's like, you know what? Somebody's approaching me, I'm gonna do it. And I so happened had a business plan for a cafe in my mind. It's like I'm gonna open a cafe because there's no good coffee shops around here. And I did. But I'm a serial hobbyist. I went out and I took a class on how to make espressos. I wrote the business plan, never did anything with it because I wasn't really motivated to do it. So I took that business plan, reworked it, gave the business plan to the guy. He said, okay. So then I signed a lease in January 2018, and September 28, 2018, I opened the door. It was sometimes we have to listen and follow, and I don't always listen and follow because
Listen and follow who? Yourself or to yourself or other people?
It's not about people. It's about your supreme being, like whoever you pray to.
Yeah.
Because they talk to you. They talk to us in many different ways, and sometimes you don't even ask the question. It's been told to you. And I followed. I opened the door, and we've been open ever since. Has it been easy? No, but I was also at the point in my life, in my career at that time, was I hated going to work. I was not motivated to go to work. I was late almost every single day. When I say I was late, I was late. I should have been fired. Really. Truth be told. But the thing is, they wouldn't fire me because even though I wasn't motivated, when I clocked in, I came to work.
Yeah.
I guess that's how I was born, raised.
Yeah.
You go to work. They should know you don't like your job, which is also makes it hard for me when I hear that 15% of people are not motivated. So we get to work. They should never know that you want their job. I did it, and honestly, I did it for the first 2 years of it being open. Only reason I left is because they eliminated my position, and I was like, I said, cool. And then they asked me to do a stretch roll at that place. I did it. Stayed a couple more months, and when it came time for me to leave, it's like, hey, we found a position for you. I said, hey, thank you, but I don't have a passion or heart. I was like, it wouldn't be fair for me to take a job that somebody else who's motivated and wants to do this job, and you give it to me. That's like, that's not right. So here, like, there's been ups and downs, like ebbs and flows. Like right now, I'm ebbing. I'm not flowing, but I'm happier doing this, and I think that's at the end of the day, that's what motivates me. Like, how can I do better than I did yesterday? Or can I do better than I did before? And how do I really push a team that's not always motivated to produce for them? Because at the end of the day, they produce for themselves, the business, and me. Because if the business doesn't make money, I don't make money, right? I don't get paid. Yeah. But that's also a sticky thing when it comes to motivation too. It's like, you know what, suck it up, buttercup. Like, you get paid to do a job. Do your job. If you want to be motivated to do something, find a hobby. I know it sounds mean and curt, but
it's crazy that you say listen to your supreme being, right? Because in 2018, who knew the world was going to change in 2020? And like brick and mortar on a national level isn't as big as it used to be.
No,
locally maybe. But not,
national chains. No.
Yeah, for being in in retail, you can't just go move from city to city and place to place, which you did for most of your career.
Yeah.
Riding on that because people are just ordering online now. If you hadn't listened, where would you be right now? Would you have been forced out before you was ready to go? But you listen.
Probably. I'd probably still been doing the same thing because I would have found a job.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I've learned, like going back, you don't burn your bridges. You always keep your connections, right?
Right.
Because I always knew somebody at another place. I knew somebody at another place. Sometimes it's not about what you know. It's who you know. and what you do when you get there to make sure you keep that job. But it's a good chance I probably would have still ended up in the same field, or I probably would end up grad school, going back trying to be a music teacher or something. Trying to get back, because at the end of the day, what I'm doing is trying to get back to the community, be part of the community, and teaching something. So I probably would have been in the classroom someday, teaching your kids.
That's good, especially if they listen. But just to kind of just stay with you, because people hear from us all the time about whatever we got to say. But staying with you, a thought came to my head, which I think a lot of us deal with at different points in time. But we mentioned imposter syndrome. Do you ever feel like I'm not doing enough? I'm not good enough to be where I'm at or get ahead?
Oh, regularly. That's a struggle. That's an internal struggle that I have with myself on a regular basis. Because I'll get people. You get people coming and say, "Oh man, it's like you're doing so well." Da da da. I was like, "That's Instagram, man. That's Instagram." Photo. I was like,
"Oh yeah, follow his Instagrams. His pictures be hot for real, for real."
But I'm like, and I'm saying that's Instagram photos. Like what you see when you walk by my shop, or you see what you see me. Like I make sure I try to work on my composure to make sure that you don't see me stressed every single minute of the day. Mm-hmm. It's like in reality, you all are business owners. It's like the work that goes in behind it is a lot, and what people see is not always what it is. Yeah. So, and I'm honest with people. I'm most of the time I try to be 99.9% of the time. I try to be honest with people, like where I'm at. I'm not going to go too far in depth, but like, yeah, there's on a regular basis. Like, you know what? Am I doing enough? Am I doing the right thing? Yeah. Should I really be doing this part of it? Like, where should I be? Like, I also feel like I should be further along than where we are. And it's the reason why my beard is gray as it is now.
Yeah. Now, how close do you get down here?
Huh?
How close do you get down here as far as like sales and?
I get nowhere near down here yet until we open. So the business did buy property in Pilsner, South Carolina. Okay. Which is in Anderson County, Anderson University, and AC.
Yeah. AC baby, all day.
So
we used to try to make it cool. So I didn't.
Y'all hot in here or something?
No, like I didn't say that, but the school that we went to in undergrad, it was Anderson College at the time. It's Anderson University now. But when we would go out, like when we would go somewhere, we were like AC baby, like that was all we could come up with.
There was nothing else.
But we did it together, and we just. Sometimes we tried to make it cool. Sometimes we delivered. A whole lot of times we didn't.
Nope, that's true.
But, we still say, yeah. So you hear us say AC. Yeah, that's what we're talking
about. But I got you.
So, like, we did buy property in Pilsner, South Carolina. So, hopefully, we could break ground in the next couple of months. Hopefully, you can start seeing some digging, some construction happening in at least by June. I'm also working with somebody to find more, like actually find farmland, like because I'm in the alcohol business, I'm in the food business, and like as we see since COVID happened, people just don't go out the same way they do. People want experiences. If you want to give me your money, you want to have an experience. So I would love that. Part of my plan is to find a farm, and so we can actually have a full experience on the farm.
Wow, that's big.
I got excited.
At least 5,
Five. What?
At least 5 acres. Like if it's more than that, I'd be happy to lease the land out to somebody who wants to farm.
But it would need to be near that spot, right?
No, it could be anywhere because at the end of the day, it's about an experience, and the part of it is to get people to come out.
Okay.
It's not having lodging, do some camping. You want to get married? You want to make a beer for your wedding? You can probably start doing distillation. Like you want to make some whiskey or some vodka for your wedding. You want to have your wedding here? You and your boys want to get out and make a beer and do something. A guy's away, a ladies away.
A real true experience.
It's true. A real true experience.
Yeah. Make my own beer.
Yeah.
And name it after me.
You want to tell them about your names?
Oh, so
yeah.
So like as I was talking about, like I go back, and this is all something that motivated me. Like like I thought I wanted to be a teacher at the end of the day, right? So, and how I try to give back to community through beer is by how we name our beers. It's like, so we take real attention in how we name our beers. Besides me being a super duper Outcast fans, I do may name some beers after them, but we name beers after civil rights leaders that's not really known, that's not talked about. Like we hear about Malcolm and Martin all the time.
Yeah.
How often do we talk about Diane Nash?
Mm-hmm.
How often do we talk about Bayard Rustin?
Mm-hmm.
You go,
my boy Stokely Carmichael, you got one?
not yet. You might. Hey, you might. You know, it's like, thank you for the name. I got to put that on my list. I got to do some more research. So, you know, also too, like when you come and order a Diane Nash, that's part of a conversation at the bar. We could talk about Diane Nash, and actually we just sent her a while back in November. We sent her family a case of beer.
Oh, that's dope.
Because it's a dope label, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you sit at the bar, you don't know about Diane Nash. You sit at the bar, you haven't heard of Bayard Rustin and what he did in civil rights, or a Jamaican leader, Paul Bogle. You know, book, 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 book. That's where I come from. Like a deacon, a gun carrying deacon, like make sure it's right.
Yeah.
You think about. So it's like about having a conversation and also educating people, because where we at in Brooklyn, in many other places, the neighborhoods are changing. I'm in a predominantly Caribbean neighborhood, and I hate this doing that. I'm in a predominantly black neighborhood that's slowly changing, quickly changing, however you want to look about it. So the space when I opened with mindset would create was a place to be open and free, to have open conversations, honest conversation about the changing neighborhoods. Also, like, let's be honest about not knowing who these leaders are who changed that way, or letting people know Flatbush was one of the biggest plantations in the city.
I did not know that.
Yeah. You know, so every street, Hawthorne, Lenox, Martins, all these streets were named. There were slave master plantations. So, like, we think you know that's part of education, and that's giving back, and that's, you know, even if I don't exist tomorrow, my mission in beer or anything I do is going to be about educating people, like open people's eyes, you know. That's my motivation. Even if I don't have a brick and mortar tomorrow, my motivation is to open people's eyes. And when I went to school, I'm sorry, I'm going off a little tangent.
No, you good. People need to hear this.
So when I went to school, when I majored in music, right?
Yeah.
I love history. And my goal was I wanted to go teach in the hoodest school that I possibly could, you know.
Let's go.
And it's like, you know, I didn't get the opportunity to learn what I learned and being able to interact in different circles without music. And if music is so carries so much history. So I wanted to be able to go, even if having to teach history, I want to be able to use music in schools to teach kids history. You know, because that's also expands your world.
Right,
like if you think about when the AT Aliens album dropped in the 90s, what were you doing? What was something significant?
In 96, right?
Yeah. What was something significant happened during that time when that album dropped, right?
Yeah.
You can think about any song.
We were going to Rainbow Records. I know that much.
Yes, you were. You were.
What is that?
Rainbow Records. At the time that you would have.
It was a record store.
It was a record store,
Okay.
so you didn't have
in a mall. Yeah.
You didn't have, of course, you couldn't just get it on your phone, so you had to go there and
Kind of like B&T tapes.
Yes.
In the wood.
and
Yeah.
music would come out at midnight, and so
Okay.
Tuesday morning.
If it was on Tuesday,
Tuesday.
if it came out on Tuesday, we would congregate Monday night around about 11 or so, and they would open up at like 12:01,
You got
and
your
then
seat.
everybody go get the album. And certain albums that everybody was there for. You go get the album. You go out into the parking lot. We had the booming system. Different people would have booming systems, but we playing all the same album, but different parts of the album.
yeah.
You just hear in the parking lot.
I love that.
It was one of those things where they say you had to be there. Yeah, you had to
be
for
there.
that one. You had to be there. It was just amazing to see, and it was all all types of people that was there. Snoop would bring people out. Outkast would bring people out. even Master P.
Yep.
Yeah, he was dropping something every week.
It's the same song. He dropped the same song every week.
He's
No Limit Soldier.
He's a music major, right? So he knew like it was like pretty much the same stuff. But you know, we as consumers who wasn't into music like that, we just like, oh, Master P dropped another album, and it was just an opportunity to kind of congregate and hang out.
I love that.
Yeah.
But you take music. You think about the even doing a protest in the 20s and doing COVID. There was certain music that was playing, like certain artists made protest music. So that puts you back. It's like, okay, we know this happened with George Floyd because of this. We know X, Y, and Z happened in the 70s because of this music. These, it's like
the references people would make
make
based off of
music.
the events that were going on at the time.
Yeah, like if you're not really listening to popular music, like lots of this underground artists, right? In their songs, they tell you what's going on in society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
They're writing history.
they're writing history right there.
Music,
Yeah. So you go back, even though some rappers the history is not always right, but you can go back and listen to what they're saying. You go back and listen to Public Enemy from the early 90s, late 80s. They was telling a story of what was going on, and we're not a monolithic community, but we do share lots of similarities, right? What they was rapping about back then was relevant. It's also still relevant now. He's like, you think about when Chuck D. I got a letter from the government the other day, opened and read it. He said they were suckers. So he's really talking about the draft. Like there was rumor there's going to be another draft during the time.
Yeah.
So he's like, basically, you're a sucker. I'm not going to go give myself up to fight for a country that really doesn't really care for black and brown people.
Yeah.
But
That's a whole another discussion because like even with like when I listen at music today, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who's connecting what's going on in the world and not just let's have a good time. Let's not just talk about chicks and whatever else and drugs and stuff like that.
And those tracks are great to club in.
Yeah.
Like, because you can go back and listen to Outkast when he was talking about, I was in the mall the other day, heard a call from another way. The brother said something. It's like, what kind of car you drive? He's like, sure, I got more friends than the average man, but now look last me to the end of the week. Like that goes just like how people might look at us because we own businesses, right? Or like,
right.
It's like, you know what, you look sharp. You drive a nice car. You paid because you own this. So it goes back like
it was relevant.
Yeah. And some things are relevant now. So like using music as using historical information. So bringing it back to what I do now, it's like I want to use historical data, like and educate people and not forget, because if you forget about your past, you're bound to repeat it, right?
Yeah.
So.
And when you said what happened in '96 when AT Aliens came out, the only thing I can remember is you got a car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. that was right.
Yeah, he got a car in '96, and we used to go everywhere.
Okay.
And we used to bump Two Dope Boys in the Cadillac. Yeah, that was our song. But
it was a Nissan Sentra, right? It was a Nissan Sentra.
That was our soundtrack that year. The AT Aliens album. But for you and anybody here today, discipline. How we were talking. The topic is motivation, discipline on credit. It's a super dope topic, right? And we talked about the motivation side of it. Where does discipline come into play with being a small business owner? Where's the discipline coming? I mean, excuse me, a business owner. I'm sorry.
So, like for me personally, with that, where it comes into play is like getting those small things done that need to be done, which I'm not always disciplined to do, and that's where I'm working constantly, like getting the pieces together, like having those. I don't mind having tough conversations, but sitting down, making those phone calls. And what I have to get disciplined about is like asking for stuff. Like I don't like to ask. Like sometimes I just rather suffer and work and try to work it out instead of asking. But discipline is doing the work to get there. Like, and I drop the ball sometimes because some things I just don't want to do. So I'll go get on my phone instead. I'll start watching a TV show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's something that should have taken me an hour. Now it takes me 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm dealing with that right now, this very moment. Like, really right now. I got some stuff I need to do, and it's going to take me the rest of the weekend to do it because I ain't been doing it.
I'm going to say something on that. Motivation builds creativity. Discipline builds character. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to expound on that?
Nah, I think that's good. I think that's good where it
That
is.
says it all right there.
I think that's good where it is.
All right, and D, we're gonna end with you, but before we end with you, so you got get your stuff prepared. We're gonna end with you. Affirmations, do that come into play for you? For me, I've never done it prior to this year, and I've known about it. When I say do it, I mean like on a consistent basis with regard to how I move or trying to progress. Now I've done it, here and there, and kind of see that it works in small aspects. And when I say small aspects, I'm talking about like I got something to do. Like say for instance, I got a presentation to do. I'll do it then. But I just kind of started this year like, all right, why I got to wait for a presentation? Why I can't do it like on an ongoing basis to deal with all the things that I aspire to be going forward.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it's been an interesting journey to do affirmations. But have you ever got into any of that?
So affirmations is like a sticky thing with me. Like I see on social media some of these affirmations. I'm like, stop, stop. But like, I think affirmations like prayer, right?
Okay.
I can say, you know what, Chris, you are strong at X, Y, and Z. You need to, and you can do this. You can do this. But if I'm not doing the work to do this, the affirmation means nothing. So, affirmation without work is pointless. So I do believe in affirmations, but also I am blessed to have enough self-confidence and also enough self-awareness that I don't need self-affirmation constantly. I would love to hear it from my peers. Everyone's like, yeah, you're doing you pushing hard, keep doing a good job, keep doing the hard work. Not every day because that I feel like it's not real, but like me sitting in the mirror on a regular basis saying da 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 da. I don't do that much because sometimes I do need to do it, like to push myself. Like, yo, Chris, you can do these taxes. You can do these because you got to get it done. You can do this, but make sure you make a plan. Like, but I do believe in affirmations.
Now, when you said you would like to hear it from your friends, right? I mean, your friends. Is it better to hear it, or better for me to show you, and I don't know, sharing a post or something, or is it better like?
This is whatever your love language is, right?
What is yours? I'm asking you.
My love language is sometimes like in conversations like, all right, like, and that can come from a post like, yo, this is my dude. He doing something.
Okay,
he's working hard.
Okay.
It's like, or it's like, yo, a pound. It's like, thank you.
Okay.
And I say thank you. It's like, it's just a nod and a wink sometimes. And I need it more when I'm down than not when I'm here.
Okay.
I think it's similar with affirmations too. Well, for me anyway, like, and I feel like, we talk about affirmations. I feel as though sometimes we need them more than other times, So like when you are down, or say when you're starting something new, you may need to encourage yourself, and say, hey, I am, I can do this, I'm strong, I'm whatever, But when you're in a place where you aren't really doubting yourself a whole lot, then I think, you may not need them as much.
So, we winding down, but Chris, what would you say to somebody, not necessarily that's coming up in the same field, but just somebody who they not where they want to be right now. They know something just a little off kiltered. Did I say that right? A little off base. What would you say if they thinking, okay, I possibly want to go in and be a business owner, possibly want to start something or take a hobby and develop it into a money. I want to monetize it.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
First thing is, you ain't gonna make money right off the cuff. 2, make sure you're doing something that you have a passion and a desire to do, like, and it doesn't become a job, right? 3, nothing happens overnight. It might take 5 years, might take 10 years, or it can pop in 2. But know that there's going to be ups and downs. It's how you deal with those ups and downs is going to what makes you successful. And also be willing to know that you might fail. Because lots of business owners, successful business owners, had started 2 or 3 different the same business, until they found the right place. Until it came to the place it was right. Because sometimes we might come to market too early. We sometimes we can be starting the trend, and it takes us going away and doing something else, and somebody else come do the same thing of what you learned. And also, don't be scared to look at if you're doing something that somebody's already done before, like a bigger company. Don't be scared to learn from what the big company did, because they've done all the work for you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I love that.
I like how you said you learn from the ups and downs.
Yeah.
You get learning all the time.
And just remember, education is not free. And so whatever you're going through, it's going to cost you something. It might cost you money. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you energy. So keep everything that happens, keep that in mind, like you're learning. And one thing I'm going to say, last thing, when I was getting my cold box installed, this guy installed, he's like, and he was successful. He's a successful guy, right? He's probably like in his early 50s, late 50s, early 60s. He had good money, And he was still on the field. He's like, you know what? Let's give you 1 point. Wherever you're going to go through things, and you're going to feel like you're at rock bottom. He said, but stop and think. You've already gone through that same thing before, and you made it through. He's like, don't dwell on being in the rock bottom. Dwell on how you solved that issue before, and pivot out of that issue again. Because that issue might come up again in different times, in different ways. But like, you've already gone through things before. That's hard. This is no harder than what you're already going through before, even though it seems like that way. It goes back to like, God would never give you anything more than you can handle. And basically, he said the same thing to me in layman's terms.
All right, D, let's close us out so we can get turned up.
I think you all have covered a lot in this topic. I think it's just important to just find your passion in. I know. Keep your hands over there. Find your passion in the things in which you desire. I think motivation is the beginning of change. It is the beginning of opportunity. And I think what Josh said is the ability for you to find your creativity and what it is you desire. And discipline is what will carry you through the journey. I think life is its own journey. And you have to be able to withstand the test and whatever that looks like for you. Because what motivates me may not motivate you. And so, finding those things that in those moments that matter for you, by you, to get you where you want to be.
All right, appreciate you. Subscribe to Speaking with Gravity on Facebook and Instagram. We'll make it easy for you and put it in the show notes. Chris, how can people that watch this episode want to check you out? How can they find you? What can they look for on social media? How can they get to you?
So I primarily use Instagram. So go to Biscuits and Beer. And that's it. Biscuits and Beer. That's my business page. If you want to watch me cook something and not always talk about beer, might talk about some cheese, might talk about some food pairings, you can follow me at Gandsy on Instagram.
Okay.
Gandsy.
Okay.
We'll put that in the show notes as well. For all your event needs, check out 61 Event Rentals. We'll put them in the show notes too. D, I've been messing this up, so I'm going to let you have it. Tell them about what you got going on with KodakReadyConsulting.com. I got that part right.
Yeah. So Kodak Ready Consultant Services, where we provide mental emotional support for individuals during their life transitions. So assisting people with grief, personal and professional development, stress management, and so just different avenues. So yeah, if you're in need of support, reach out.
Shout out to Mr. Winston for holding us down on the audio and visual production. Check him out on winstonjstewart.com. D, should I give Josh the opportunity to speak on his own, or should I just say it? Because he like to get carried away when you get him the mic.
I think you should give him a minute.
All right.
Get carried away. So,
All right, man, 14 seconds.
Yeah, so my platform is Let's Talk About It. Follow me on Instagram. That's @Garvey4Prayers, as well as on YouTube, Joshua Garvey Williams. What we do is basic. We build better communities by way of media. So check us out.
All right. GravityCounselingGroup.com. We provide wellness, a wellness group. Do a few other things here and there, individual, family, and couples counseling. So check us out on our website. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen. You could be doing anything right now, but you chose to listen to us, and we appreciate that. This isn't therapy. It's a podcast.